Imagine two people, same city, same age, same job title, same $85,000 salary. 10 years go by. One of them has $180,000 saved, a growing investment account, and is quietly building real wealth. The other one? Still living paycheck to paycheck, still stressed every time an unexpected bill shows up, still wondering where all the money goes. Same salary, completely different financial lives. So what's the difference? Is it luck? Is it some secret investment strategy only the wealthy know about? Is it crypto, real estate? No. And this is where it gets interesting. The difference has almost nothing to do with how much money they made. It has everything to do with something most people never talk about: the invisible psychology running quietly in the background of every financial decision you make. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the belief that keeps millions of people stuck: the idea that earning more money will eventually solve your financial problems. It sounds logical, makes total sense on the surface. If I just get the raise, if I just land the better job, if I just make a little more, then I'll finally be okay. But here's what actually happens. The raise comes, life improves, but so do the expenses. The new apartment, the nicer car, the better restaurants, the upgraded phone. And somehow, at the end of every month, the account balance looks almost exactly the same as before.
Economists have a name for this. They call it lifestyle inflation. But honestly, that name doesn't do justice to how sneaky this thing actually is, because it doesn't feel like inflation. It feels like progress. You worked hard. You earned more. Of course you deserve to enjoy it. And that feeling, that completely human, completely understandable feeling, is exactly what keeps the cycle going. The average American household earns more today, adjusted for inflation, than any generation in history. And yet, the personal savings rate is near historic lows. Consumer debt is at record highs. And nearly 60% of Americans say they are living paycheck to paycheck. More money, less financial security. How does that happen? Let's talk about something called the hedonic treadmill. Imagine you're walking on a treadmill. You start moving, but no matter how fast you go, you stay in the same spot. The treadmill just keeps adjusting to match your pace. That's what happens with money and happiness. When your income goes up, your expectations go up with it, automatically, almost invisibly. Things that used to feel like luxuries become necessities. The $12 lunch feels normal. The streaming subscriptions pile up. The slightly nicer version of everything becomes the baseline.
And here's the cruel part. Your brain adapts. The excitement fades, and you're left wanting the next upgrade, the next level, the next thing that will finally feel like enough. This isn't a character flaw. It's neuroscience. Your brain is literally wired to normalize your current circumstances and keep scanning for more. Now layer something else on top of that: social comparison. Humans are wired to measure themselves against the people around them. It's an ancient survival instinct. But in the modern world, it's financially devastating. Your colleague gets a new car. Your friend posts vacation photos from Italy. Your neighbor renovates their kitchen. And your brain, without your permission, starts quietly cataloging all of it. Not with jealousy exactly, but with a subtle background hum of, maybe I should be doing that too. Researchers call this keeping up with the Joneses. But the Joneses are also in debt. The Joneses are also living paycheck to paycheck. The Joneses are also watching their neighbor and thinking the same thing. You're competing in a race where almost nobody is winning, and the finish line keeps moving. Here's the thing that changes everything.
Wealth isn't about how much you earn. Wealth is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Read that again, because it sounds simple, but most people have never actually internalized it. A person making $60,000 a year who consistently saves and invests $1,000 a month will over time build significantly more financial security than someone making $120,000 a year who spends $121,000. The math is almost embarrassingly straightforward, but behavior is the hard part. Think about it this way. Money is like water, and most people have a bucket with holes in the bottom. Every month, more water gets poured in, and every month it leaks out just as fast through subscriptions they forgot about, impulse purchases, interest payments on debt, dining out by habit rather than by choice. The solution isn't always a bigger bucket. Sometimes it's fewer holes. There's another force at work here that almost nobody talks about: mental accounting. This is the tendency for people to treat money differently depending on where it came from or what mental category they've placed it in. A tax refund feels like free money, so it gets spent on something frivolous. A birthday gift of cash disappears on something impulsive. But money from your paycheck, that feels real, and it gets treated more carefully.
Except it's all the same money. A dollar is a dollar, regardless of where it originated. But our brains don't process it that way. And this is where the people quietly building wealth do something different. They don't trust their feelings about money. They build systems. The person in our story who ended up with $180,000 saved didn't succeed because they had more discipline than everyone else. They set up automatic transfers to savings and investments the day after payday. The money moved before they could see it, before they could feel tempted by it, before their brain could convince them they deserved to spend it. Pay yourself first. Not what's left over after spending, but first. Automatically. Before willpower even enters the conversation. Because here's the brutal truth about willpower. It runs out. Every financial decision you make takes a small piece of it. By the end of the day, after all the decisions, large and small, you've already made, your ability to resist the impulse purchase or the unnecessary upgrade is significantly weaker than it was in the morning. Systems beat willpower every single time. So what does this actually look like in practice?
First, take an honest look at lifestyle inflation. Pull up your bank statements from 3 years ago and compare them to now. If your income has grown, but your savings rate hasn't grown with it, lifestyle inflation is quietly eating the difference. You don't have to live like a monk, but every raise, every bonus, every income increase, try to redirect at least half of it towards savings and investments before your lifestyle has a chance to expand to fill it. Second, build automatic financial systems. Set up automatic transfers to a savings account or investment account the day after your paycheck hits. Make it invisible. Make it boring. The best financial decisions are the ones that don't require daily willpower to maintain. Third, get clear on your actual needs versus socially influenced wants. That's not a judgment. It's a genuine question worth asking. When you want something, sit with it for 48 hours. Not because you can't have it, but because that pause separates genuine desire from impulsive social comparison. And fourth, and this one is often overlooked, invest in your financial education. Not in complicated strategies, not in get-rich-quick schemes, in understanding the basics of how compound interest works, how to evaluate a simple index fund, what a reasonable emergency fund looks like. The return on financial knowledge is one of the highest returning investments you can make.
Here's where we land. Most people are waiting for the magic income number that finally makes everything click into place. The salary that will finally feel like enough. The raise that will finally solve the stress. But the salary isn't the solution. The solution is understanding that financial freedom isn't a number on a paycheck. It's a gap you choose to protect every month between what you earn and what you spend. The people quietly building wealth aren't earning dramatically more than their peers. They've just decided to stop playing the comparison game. They've stopped trying to feel wealthy
and started actually becoming wealthy. Quietly, automatically, one boring decision at a time. And the beautiful irony? Once you stop trying to look rich, once you stop running on the hedonic treadmill, once you unsubscribe from the silent race nobody is actually winning, that's exactly when real financial peace starts to become possible. Not because you suddenly make more money, but because you finally stop letting more money make less difference. If this hit home, there's a whole conversation about the psychology of investing, why we panic sell, and how fear is the most expensive emotion in personal finance. That's next. A few notes on this script. The hedonic treadmill and mental accounting sections are the emotional and intellectual core. Those are your retention anchors, where you'll want your animation to be most dynamic. The hook's same salary, different outcomes framing works well for an animated split-screen opening. Let me know if you'd like me to adjust the tone, length, or punch up any specific section.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Ton Invest for more videos about money, freedom, and building real wealth in a world designed to keep people financially distracted.